Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a very brief look at the game Apples to Apples Big Picture Edition. Now I'm going to go on record and say that Apples to Apples is probably one of the most popular games in our household, right next to Say Anything and possibly Wits and Wagers. But if you're not familiar with Apples to Apples at all, basically it tasks players with making crazy card combinations in order to score points. So with that being said, let's take a quick look at what's inside the Big Picture Edition. Alright, now I should probably state that there are a number of different Apples to Apples editions out there. You've got regular Apples to Apples Junior Edition, all sorts of things, almost as bad as Monopoly. But they all, for the most part, pretty much play the same. So if you have another Apples to Apples edition in your collection, you won't have too much trouble picking this up at all. As far as the components are concerned, you have a total of 463 of these red apple cards, you have a total of 160 of these green apple cards, and you have 7 of these blank red apple cards so that players can draw their own pictures, which I'll show you in a minute. You'll also have 25 of these apple tokens. These assist player during the scoring process. Now at the very beginning of the game, each player will receive 5 of these red apple cards to form their starting hands. You don't have to shuffle all of the cards and put them onto the table. You could just simply grab a red deck and a green deck, and that should be enough to suit your purposes. Of course, if you want to play a longer game, feel free to grab more cards from the box. The game itself is broken up into a series of rounds, in which one player will become the judge while the others try and play cards in order to score points. Now, at the beginning of any round, you'll go ahead and have the judge draw one of these green apple cards. And the judge will go ahead and read it off. In this case, it says eerie, and it even gives some adjectives down here: creepy, frightening, scary. Now, at that point, let's just say that this player over here is the judge. Every other player besides the judge will take a look at their hand and choose one card from their hand that they would consider eerie. Now, in regular Apples to Apples editions, there would be text here normally. Normally, it would just list a person, place, thing, or event. Like it might say Mr. Spock, or it might give some other popular character, so on and so forth. There's a number of different nouns that are used in the red deck. But in the case of the Big Picture edition, you've got pictures instead of text. So let's just say that okay, there's a fully clothed female singing into what looks like a shower head. I'm guessing that would be eerie. So he would just choose that, play it face down. The other players would follow suit. My OCD's kicking in. Okay, let me turn that. And let's say that they choose... that doesn't look too eerie. Polar bears dancing, maybe? That might be eerie. Okay, I'm looking at the butts of 2 animals. That's sort of eerie. Cemetery shaver. Okay. Well, let's just go with the cemetery picture just to save on time. And we'll go ahead and the other player will choose... Oh, that's pretty eerie. Ballerina. I wouldn't call that eerie, but okay. We'll go with the masked stuffed animal. Okay, so once each player has chosen a card, played it face down, the judge will go ahead and take them, mix them up, so that they don't know whose card is whose. And they'll go ahead and choose the best one out of the bunch that they would consider eerie. Of course, the judge is free to, make their own decisions. They could throw a little bit of irony in there. It's best that the players know what the judge's sense of humor is like before deciding on a card. So let's say that the judge goes ahead and picks this card as eerie. Now that card belonged to this particular player over here. So this player, as a result, would announce that that was his card, and he would receive a token as a score point. The first player to reach 5 points would win the game as a whole. Once the round is done, the cards that were played are discarded, and the players that actually played cards this round would go ahead and refresh their hand back up to 5 cards. And then the role of the judge for the next round would continue clockwise around the table. Alright, now for those of you that are already familiar with the Apples to Apples game, you're probably wondering, okay, so what do these different picture cards look like? Well, let's just go ahead, grab a deck, Bunch of cards here. Let me focus in on this. That way you can see some of the pictures that are in this particular version. I'm just going to go through them here, just so you can see them. Girl playing a violin. Guy playing baseball, it looks like. Fireworks. Hot air balloon. A king. A pig. A judge. A stick of dynamite. A big red button. So as you can see, I mean, the pictures featured in these cards are pretty well done. I mean, most of them are either animals or people doing various things. Got an elephant there, someone playing hockey. No, I was right the first time. That guy's upside down. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, pretty varied in terms of pictures. I really haven't come across any of that are really child inappropriate. There are a few that are a little WTF, if I may say so, just a little strange, considering that the yeah, I mean, considering that the age requirement is, according to the box, it's 7+. But I mean, you will see people. You will see a little bit of cleavage. You will see some people in bathing suits. There was a picture in here I saw. It was some sort of ballerina bending backwards over a topless guy. I don't ask. But I mean, so there are a few pictures in here I would consider a little iffy. But for the most part, it is child appropriate. If you are one of those conservative parents that, you know, and I'm not bashing that at all. I mean, as a parent, you should know what your kids are doing. But if you're a conservative parent, my advice is go ahead and pick this game up. But if you want to go through these cards ahead of time, just to make sure that there's anything in here that you would consider child inappropriate, you could just simply, yeah, like, you can pick them out before actually playing the game. And there you have it. This is just a very brief look at the game Apples to Apples Big Picture Edition. You can check out my review at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, or you can simply click on the link in the below description that'll take you there as well. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.